So very good morning to you. This is Dr. Terence and I'm going to take survey on text processing technique using deep learning. This is submitted to International Conference for Intelligent System Design and Applications. So this will be the agenda of the paper. So we'll start with what is sentimental analysis, followed by the approaches for the sentimental analysis, the advantages and limitations, and we'll go ahead with the text-based emotion detection, followed by the issues of the same. Finally, we conclude the manuscript. Okay. So to start with, we'll start with the concept of sentiment analysis. Okay. So when you take sentiment analysis, it could have both positive as well as negative opinion. Okay. So it defines or it refines the kind of sentiments that people has towards a particular entity or environment. So okay, it can have two sides like the positive and negative. So initial approach for detecting a sentiment analysis is about it's called as the lexicon based approach. Okay, so it just counts the words if they are positive or negative or neutral words which are just connected with data. So what they try to do is we have a kind of pre-proposed or pre-prepared sentiment to a seed word, something like hit and run, pull over, something like that. Okay, so these words will be connected to either a positive or negative, and we have a kind of a seed word for each of them. Okay, so that will be your lexicon based approach. Next is the machine learning methodology where we try to classify and extract the sentiment from the data. Okay, so next we'll go with the categories that are being dealt with sentiment analysis. First, we do have something like sentiment with the final granularity, followed by sentiment analysis for emotion identification, followed by analysis based on aspects, followed by sentiment analysis based on intent. Okay. So first, with final granularity, when you talk it, what we'll try to do is we'll talk to the clients, okay, and ask opinion about a particular entity or environment, and that will be the finest granular sentiment analysis. Okay, so asking directly to the clients will be the finest form of analysis, followed by the emotion identification. So what we'll do is we'll try to identify the emotions when people try to express certain things. Are they happy, are they sad, are they in sorrow, fear, or panic mode, whatever it is. Okay, so all these expressions can be found as emotions here. Okay, third will be the analysis that are based on aspects. So something like what their psychology or sentiment across a particular product or service. Okay, and finally the analysis based on their intent. Okay, what kind of intentions, the customer intentions, like they want to purchase a product, downgrade or unsubscribe a product, something like that. Okay, next is the approaches for the sentiment analysis. Okay, there are three approaches as you can see it. First is a rule based approach. Okay, so for rule based approach, we try to continuously tune or fine tune or maintenance the overall the system here. Because we'll try to have new rules to be added every time as a result of newer vocabularies being formed. Okay, so this generally has tokenization, like finding the tokens for each word, stemming, that is cutting down to the root word, okay, of a particular word. So every word will have a root word. We are trying to find the meaning using the root word here, and we have lexicons, like the lexical analysis of particular verb. Okay, next we do have a machine learning approach where we try to classify a problem. Okay, so text analysis or text based analysis are generally classification of problem, and here we, as you know, machine learning approach can have either regression or classification. This is purely a classification based thing, and we try to classify a problem into three types. Okay, could it be a positive or a negative or neutral here. Okay, so machine learning classification for three classes, and third is lexicon based approach, which we have seen it in introduction itself. Okay, so next you do have something like how a machine learning and a lexicon based approach are working. Okay, this image which you see it on the left is nothing but a machine learning block diagram, and here you have a comparison of lexicon and machine learning approach. When you take a machine learning approach, you have something, a word which can be a positive or neutral negative word that has been fed to a machine learning algorithm. Okay, whatever you've tried to feed into machine learning algorithm, it kinds of sends it to a classifier model where it gets classified to a positive or a negative or neutral word, and finally we try to extract a feature into it. Okay, so same thing used for lexicon based as well, but in lexicon approach we try to kind of apply rules to all the words. Okay, and we try to find the key words or root words, something like that. That is where we have the kind of differentiation between a machine learning approach with the lexicon based approach. Okay, so this diagram explains it all. Next, what we try to do for a document type classification. Okay, so what we try to do, as the flow chart of the workflow says, we try to read the document. Every time we try to read the document, we try to select the features. When we try to select the features, first we have to tokenize the text. Okay, we try to divide the text so that it can be no longer divided into any other form. Then we try to find the stop words. Okay, stop words could be something like and, or, something like that. Okay, the, not, but, yet, something, all those are stop words. We try to cut, and that's how we try to tokenize a particular text, and we try to stem it out to the root level. So we need to find the root words of the same, and we vectorize the same, and we then feed it to the learning algorithm. Okay, so learning algorithm could be any kind of machine learning approach, okay, which can be used to document the text document, classify text document here. Okay, so next is a block diagram for the lexicon based approach here. So generally speaking, we do have two types of lexicon based approach. Could they be a dictionary based approach or a corpus based approach? Okay, dictionary or corpus based, as we are given in our manuscript. So in dictionary approach, what we try to do is we try to manually dig in the data, and we are trying to gather that same data which has been manually digged in from various sources. Okay, in corpus based approach, what you try to do is we try to put some semantic analysis. Okay, based on semantics, we try to do some kind of latent semantic analysis on the same. Okay, so as you can see, based on these we try to classify it. As you can see, we do have a generic word list, and we have pre-assembled words. We try to merge that one, we tokenize, and we try to get the semantic polarity, that is even a positive or negative, what kind of words. Okay, so when you talk about semantic polarity or policy, it's about the orientation of how the particular sentiment is being approached. Okay, so whatever words they are saying, there could be some kind of polarity of how they are being positive or negative or neutral sentiment. Okay, we are trying to find that polarity here. Okay, when you talk about a tokenized document, as you can as you can see in the figure, it is like a document is always represented as a collection of words. Okay, which can be used for analysis. So this tokenized document can be used to detect what kind of tokens are there, like a web address or an emoji kind of things. Okay, and finally, this is a comparison of different algorithms, naive Bayes or random forest, random tree, and emotion sentiment, whatever SVM, okay, vector machine algorithm, convolutional neural network, k-means, knn algorithm, all these things. And they have the total words followed by the positive words, negative and neutral words, and their accuracy percentage. A small kind of comparison which we have done as a result of this paper. Okay, and finally, we are dealing with the issues of the same. Okay, what we are trying to do is, these are some of the issues that we have here. So whatever language representation categorization are there, that is a major issue that is posing in the sentiment analysis. Okay, and more importantly, the contextual information from text is another big issue that's been peeping in. Okay, and finally we have out of vocabulary restrictions, something that which are not a part of the normal lexicon analysis, and overfitting. As you know, it's an important concept in machine learning. So what actually happens is machine learning behavior that will occur, okay, when a machine learning model gives accurate predictions, okay, for training, but when it comes to real grounds, it's not giving the correct output. So that is the overfitting here. Okay, all those overfitting and underfitting are all very common that are happening in this text sentiment analysis. Okay, so that sums it all up. So as we are whatever we have seen is what are the approaches that are to approach to access the social media sentiment, all these things we are dealt with here. And finally we are left with some kind of futuristic commitment, where which social media could widely utilize to collect the data from sentiment analysis, all these things. Okay, that's where the research can proceed in from now on. Okay, So that's all. If you have questions, feel free to drop in. And thank you for listening. Thank you. Thanks a lot.